Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The new scholastic year starts tomorrow in all schools in the Sultanate, with completion of all facilities to receive male and female students. More than 600,000 male and female electors are included in Shura Council members' election for the 8th term, and the preliminary lists are to be announced tomorrow. And Arab-led coalition continues its airstrikes in Taiz in Yemen. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. More than 500,000 male and female students head tomorrow to their schools in all wilayas of the Sultanate, with the start of the new scholastic year 2015-2016. The Ministry of Education completed all technical and administrative preparations for the beginning of the new year, in terms of the readiness of the school buildings and provision of all materials and needs, as to create a convenient and comfortable environment and successful educational atmosphere for students and the teaching staff. Her Excellency Dr. Madiha bint Ahmed bin Nasser al-Shaybaniya, Minister of Education, congratulated male and female students who will start tomorrow, the first day of their scholastic year. She also expressed her thanks and appreciation to teachers and all educational staff for their continuous giving and devotion in conveying the educational message. She added that they receive the new scholastic year as the Sultanate celebrates the glorious 45th National Day, achieving in few decades comprehensive development, making the Sultanate among the advanced countries. She said that the educational march is moving forward as per plans drawn in cooperation with all concerned bodies in the Sultanate. More than 600,000 male and female electors were included in the preliminary elector lists for Shura Council membership election for the 8th term. The Ministry of Interior said that Shura Council election committees in the wilayas will announce tomorrow morning at Wali's office the preliminary elector lists. The ministry also pointed out that these lists can be accessed through the electronic website of the elections, local newspapers and social media channels. It also said that there will be an objection period on the names mentioned in these lists that lasts for 5 days from the date of announcement, as per Article 31 of Shura Council membership election law. Social Development Village, organised by the Sultanate's youth camp in the Governorate of North Bartana, aimed to urge participants to adopt new ideas that help them in their work life. It also sought to encourage them to preserve traditional craft industries. The event also included several cultural and scientific activities. In order to shed light on natural and archaeological sites in the wilaya of Wadi al-Ma'awal in the Governorate of South Bartana, a voluntary work camp was organised by youths in the wilaya. The camp included a cleanliness campaign to clean several natural and archaeological landmarks such as Safala Fort, Al-Manzaf Water Spring and As-Safala Mosque. The camp was held in cooperation with several concerned bodies in the wilaya. The Governorate of the Far is blessed with lots of nature's gifts. Camels in abundance are one of them. Our reporter Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai is taking us to a unique competition which was held as part of the Salalah Kharif Festival 2015.
Once again, on this day, television camera for Salalah Kharif Festival 2015 has taken us to the camel milking competition here in Salalah. Different kinds of Arabian camels and owners coming from various governorates of the Sultanate have crossed miles and miles, transporting many of these camels here to participate in this annual competition that is organized with the Oman Camel Federation. This competition focused on camel milking as well as best camels. The purpose of conducting this kind of competition is to educate camel owners on aspects linked to preservation of the country's traditions, heritage and culture. As one can see here, lots and lots of tents have been set up along with camel yards that are scattered around this competition area. At this camp, we can very well see young and adults together enjoying the environment here, and all are set for a competition. What a close relationship between these youngsters and this particular camel.
قال طيب عندنا لمع الحجمة قبر من غضل كما جبل على مرسولها.
Camel milking is conducted daily early morning and evenings. Here is a live example of camel milking demonstrated. The process followed is that the time is recorded at the time camel milking starts and at the completion. Then the milk is taken immediately to the jury for checking the amount of milk in kilograms. The juries are located in specific points that makes easy for the competitors to get to them. The announcement of winner is done after juries have reviewed all the records of all camels. It's worth mentioning that camel milk is considered one of the most evolved land mammals on Earth. Camels have been milked for thousands of years and provided the most nutritious whole food sources for communities. From this competition center of camel milking, I'm Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Salalah Festival 2015, Governorate of Dhafar.
Still to come in our news bulletin. Rare and old gold coins were the cargo of a 300-year-old shipwreck now found near Florida. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Several bombs exploded outside a building used by the intelligence services in Yemen's southern port city of Aden today, causing fires to break out but no casualties. Aden has been at the center of a battle between Houthi movement from Yemen's north and supporters of the exiled government of President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi. Fighters loyal to Hadi captured Aden from the Houthis and their allies, forces loyal to former President Ali Abdullah Saleh, in July after months of street battles and airstrikes on the Houthis by a Saudi-led coalition. The intelligence offices are located near the administration offices of Aden's port and the radio and television building. Explosive devices had been planted on the fence surrounding the building, which was severely damaged in the blasts. 10 gunmen were killed in a security inspection campaign for Egyptian army in areas of Sheikh Zweid, Al Arish and Rafah at North Sinai. From the other side, Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood leader Mohammed Badi and several other prominent figures were sentenced to life in prison today for murder and inciting violence, judicial sources said, part of an ongoing crackdown on the outlawed group. South and North Koreas have agreed to hold high-level talks in a bid to diffuse tensions. The meeting was set to take place at the border village of Panmunjom this evening, half an hour after the deadline set by North Korea for Seoul to cease anti-propaganda broadcasts across the border. It followed the exchange of fire between the two militaries on Thursday, with South Korea's military retaliating against what it said were North Korean artillery strikes targeting loudspeakers making the anti-Pyongyang broadcasts. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to order his frontline troops to prepare for battle, raising concerns that the war of rhetoric could escalate into the most serious military confrontation between the two sides in years, despite calls for calm from China, the reclusive North's main economic backer. Officials said today 6 people were killed while thousands fled to higher ground as powerful Typhoon Goni brought torrential rains to the northern Philippines, triggering landslides and floods. 5 people died in the highlands of Benguet and mountain provinces after they were buried in rocks and mud. A man was killed by nearby Ilocos Norte province after he was hit by a falling tree, according to Alexander Palmer, Executive Director of the National Disaster Council. Typhoon Goni was 140 kilometers northeast of the northern province of Cagayan on Saturday morning, with winds of up to 195 kilometers per hour, according to the State Weather Bureau. Florida treasure hunters found a trove of $4.5 million worth of Spanish gold coins 300 years to the day after a fleet of ships sunk in a hurricane while en route from Havana to Spain. The 350 coins found on July 30th include 9 rare pieces, known as Royal 8 Escudos, which were being transported to the King of Spain, according to Brent Brisbane, whose company 1715 Fleet Queen's Jewels owns the rights to the wreckage. Only 20 such coins were known to exist prior to the recovery of the 9 royals. A diver who spotted the haul said the gold looks like it fell into the water yesterday. On the same day in 1715, a hurricane tossed 11 treasure-laden Spanish galleons onto reefs of Florida east coast, sinking them in the early hours of the following morning. Today, the wreckage is scattered over a wide area. And now for the general weather forecast. Cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas and nearby mountains of the Governorate of Dhofar, with chances of intermittent drizzle. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear to partly cloudy skies, with chances of cloud accumulation and scattered rainfall over the Hajar Mountains and the nearby areas. Winds will be southwesterly moderate to active along the coast of Arabian Sea, while it will be southeasterly light to moderate in the rest of the Sultanate. Seas along the coast of Arabian Sea will be rough with a maximum wave height of 3.5 meters, and for the rest of the coast it will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The new scholastic year starts tomorrow in all schools in the Sultanate, with completion of all facilities to receive male and female students. More than 600,000 male and female electors are included in Shura Council members' election for the 8th term, and the preliminary lists are to be announced tomorrow. And Arab-led coalition continues its airstrikes in Taiz in Yemen. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.